as this time of year is ramping up, man, the food, like it's a nonstop eating fest from, well, the week of Thanksgiving till January, pretty much, because you can't just stop at Christmas because you got bowl games, on New Year's Day and stuff. And so, which is, I think, should be like the third most important holiday of the year next to Christmas and Easter is bowl games in college football. But anyways, I've been eating nonstop, and so I have a little bit of a complex. I stepped my wife, God bless her, she had me step on a scale this morning. I think she did. She did. Look, she's going to take my Twinkies away from me later. Look, guys, hey, we're still in the first week of December. It's going to be a brutal year. You know what I'm saying? But I love Jesus, I love my wife, and I love to eat. And so that's why I can't really wait until January, because we're going to do 21 days of prayer and fasting. Praise Jesus, I'm going to need it so I don't have to buy a new wardrobe. But man, just an exciting time of year. Everything's getting ramped up. Everything's getting crazy and chaotic, and it seems like everywhere you go, everything's flashing, everything's loud. Most generally, people are smiling a little bit more, which is nice. But, the advertisements are coming at you. The invitations are coming at you. I don't know if you have any friends or not. If you have friends, invitations are coming at you. Christmas cards, it's kind of fun. Every day you open up the mail and Christmas cards are coming in. But anyways, it's kind of chaotic and stuff. And so as we kick off this Christmas message series, I want to talk to you about the chaos a little bit today, how to manage it, how to get through it. I don't know if you're familiar with the story in the Bible, and there was these two sisters named Martha and Mary. If you are, you kind of know what's coming, and it's like, oh man, I've heard this before. Well, maybe not. Maybe we just need to be reminded. I've heard that Jesus was born of a virgin and died for my sins, but I never get tired of hearing that, you know what I'm saying? Some of us need refreshers as to what's going on. And so we're going to be hanging out quickly today. It won't last very long. Luke chapter 10, just a few verses here. Starting in verse 38, it says, as Jesus and the disciples continued on their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home, which I write there, I think that's kind of interesting because if you know how Jesus even came on the scene, he was born in a cattle stall because there was no room for him anywhere. All of a sudden, he came to this world to save the world, but nobody had any room for him. And so I might be talking about that next week, a little foreshadowing, but it's just crazy, I think, how he went from nobody having room. Now these people, whenever they hear he's coming to town, they're opening up their homes, and she's getting ready to put on a big old dinner to welcome him into her home. It says her sister, Mary, she sat at the Lord's feet listening to what Jesus had to say, what he was teaching. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner that she was preparing. So she came to Jesus and said, Lord, doesn't it all seem unfair to you that my sister just gets to sit here while I do all the work? Lord, tell her to come over here and help me. But the Lord said to her, my dear Martha, when Jesus talks to you that way, my dear Heath, you're in trouble. Dear, my dear Martha. It's almost with pity, I think. Jesus had a voice full of pity and concern right now. You're worried and upset over all these details. But there's only one thing. Look at your neighbor and say, there's only one thing. There's only one thing. There's only one thing worth being concerned about. There's only one thing worth being concerned about. Mary has discovered it. It won't be taken from her. So, out of this story, which character out of Mary and Martha do you relate to the most? I mean, Mary was chilling laid back. I think she was a stoner. She's just sitting at Jesus' feet waiting for dinner. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. And she's just chilling laid back. That's not the character I most relate to, though. I DEFCON 9, you know what I'm saying? Freak out, panic mode. I call it passion mode. I ain't panic. I'm passionate, dadgummit. I'm energetic. But that's just me. Some of you are probably in the Mary mode, which is great. People who are in the Mary mode make the Martha mode mad. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting how this works, isn't it? Because, like, if you're a Martha and you you're stressed. You're wound a little tight. I can relate to that. I'm wound a little tight, and Jesus says, "Oh, you're worried about all the details." I'm the detail. Yeah, look, I'm a big picture guy, but the details freak me out. You can ask anybody that knows me. It's like I don't notice anything, but I notice everything, and it all bothers me. And all the details bother me. It freaks me out. Martha, she had a pretty good point, I think. I mean, yeah, Mary got to chill with Jesus, but if it wasn't for Martha preparing everything and even doing all the hard work and even opening up her home, where would Mary be then? Mary, did you know you'd be out on the street? You wouldn't be having dinner at my house. Who do you think done made you this cranberry sauce? It's Christmas time, Mary. Anyways, she wouldn't have a spot to sit at Jesus' feet if it wasn't for Martha. I used to hear this message sometimes from pastors, and there's only so many ways you can spin a message, right? I've got plenty of ways, but Mary, this one pastor asked one time and says, "Man, why can't you be more like Mary?" I'm like, "Because I have a job." It's like I'm a productive member of society, and that's what I want to say, because I'm just wound a little tight. I'm like, come on, man. People use this Mary Martha thing. Mary's running around just as an excuse to be lazy, and it's not really true. This is just from my messed up perspective, and I'm just saying. But in order to maintain that perspective, you have to ignore the words of Jesus, and you can't really do that. He says, "Oh, there's only one thing. There's just this one thing that's more important than everything else." But if you have this Martha-type personality, it's not that you're a bad person. It's not that you're distracted, and because that's what people want to make you feel like. Oh, you're guilty because you don't want to be in the presence of God. It's not that at all. I really want to be in the presence of God. There's nothing more important to me, and all this kind of stuff. I just get distracted, and you're not going to get distracted by bad things. Our enemy is too smart for that, and you're too smart for it, quite frankly. You're not really getting. We don't get distracted by bad things. We get distracted by good things. It's the good things in your life that will distract you from the most important thing. There's nothing more important than the presence of Jesus in our life. There's just nothing. Can I tell you, I've experienced a lot, and there's just something about being in the presence of God. Just the presence. For give me 5 minutes. And it's just 5 seconds. And there's nothing that can satisfy, and there's nothing that can calm, and there's nothing that can ease and secure and assure your soul, your spirit, just like having the presence of God in your life, just experiencing that just for a brief moment. So many people run around crazy. It's like, and you never truly experience peace because you don't know what the presence of God's like. And Jesus says, this is the most important thing. Mary's found it, and it's not going to be taken from her. If you're taking notes, there's a couple things that you need to keep in mind this holiday season, I believe. The first one's this. You need to tell yourself this. I won't get lost in lesser things. I won't get lost in lesser things. Can I tell you, it's easy to get lost in things. It's just easy to get lost. We got all wrapped up. It's Christmas time. I mean, think about all the things that we get all wrapped up in. Presents, Christmas parties, somebody slap me in the mouth. It's just, Christmas Day, it's looking, it's the most wonderful time of year. I'm like, it would be better if I didn't have to see you. It's like, and if I didn't have to go there, it's like, I just want to relax for Christmas, and we got to go there and there. But you get lost in lesser things. Isn't it crazy how, it is the most wonderful time of the year. Why is it the most wonderful time of the year? What's the reason that we celebrate Christmas? It's because Jesus loved us so much. God loved us so much that he became one of us, and he came on a rescue mission for us. And what an incredible reason to celebrate. I think we should celebrate it all the time. But we're getting lost in the lesser things. And this year you have to make decisions. You have to make decisions to not get lost in the lesser things. And brings me to the next one. I will make the most of Jesus this year. I will make the most of Jesus. You got to make the most of Jesus. It's astonishing to me how, and this is in no way a dig on our society. I always get a kick out of Christians, if I may, because they freak out like, and we fight back with our Facebook profiles, don't we? I mean, it's just what we do. We just do it. I'll show them. I'll put up a different picture. Yeah, let's show them. Put up a different picture. I'll post something awesome. I'll boycott this thing because they got red cups. Just stupid stuff, right? Isn't it crazy, though? I would just believe. The most astonishing part to me is that as Christians, how offended and shocked we are when the world acts exactly the way the world's supposed to act. Like, are we just shocked about that? I think more shocking is instead of building bridges, we're too busy building walls, and like nobody wants to talk about it anymore because, don't judge me. And then we're in this cycle all over. And then you forget that it's even Christmas. Everybody forgot about Jesus because they're worried about red cups. Just doesn't make sense. It's easy to get lost in the lesser things. It's easy to get lost in the Black Friday shopping. Yeah, it's easy to get lost in that. It's easy to get lost in outdoing yourself. Last year, I don't know what is up with our mentality that we have to outdo everything that we did last year. I don't know, last year dang near killed me is what I want to say some years. I don't want to outdo that. If I outdo that, I'll be dead. I just don't want to outdo it. But we think we have to outdo everything. And can't just say something like, it's impossible to outdo all this stuff. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. Get more creative. Get more stuff. Be more thoughtful. I want to make the most about Jesus. How about that? You got to start making a lot about Jesus. And I come at this from the perspective, I've got 4 wonderful kids. And it won't be very long. Like, my daughter's getting so tall, it's freaking me out. And it's like, she's going to be married and I'm going to be in jail for killing the guy or something, soon. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to have all these moments where it's just going by really fast. And I'm just sitting there going, I need to make the most of Jesus with my family. We got to make a big deal about Jesus. See, Mary chose what was better. She wasn't crazy enough to think that all of it was just going to make itself and the dinner and all this kind of stuff. But we get panic. I think this year for Christmas we should choose to freak people out a little bit. I'm choosing to freak people out. Do the exact opposite of what's expected of you. Because sometimes you can just get in this mode where there's so much expectations on everything. I mean, we freak out. I was panicking. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not one of these people that put up my Christmas tree on Memorial Day, but I'm close, And it's like the stress of it. Like, it was the day after Thanksgiving. I have to get up my Christmas tree. And there's just all these things going on. And today is the first Sunday in December, which there's always this. My wife, she comes from this incredibly large family. Like, they breed at alarming rates. And so I didn't come from these huge families. We never really got together as families for much of anything. But her family gets together for everything. Look, Johnny had a stool. And it's like, I'm just saying, it just gets crazy sometimes. But just kidding. We're going to go with first service online, Randall. And so it's just incredible. Like, today is the day, like the first Sunday. Literally, they have this family thing that's like just insane. Conservatively, probably 150 people there. I'm just like, And I was really proud of Kenzie. She did the unexpected. And because normally she'd be like, well, we're going. When she says we're going, she doesn't include me because she knows I'm not going. And Because it's on a Sunday, and I pull out the religious pastor card. You know what I'm saying? This is the day of the week. I got to work. I would, trust me, I would rather preach 30 sermons than to go to this thing. And so I'm just like, I'm not going. But this weekend, she was like, you know what? I told my family and stuff, says, I'm just not going. I'm like, who are you? This is incredible. And you know what? There was people that was disappointed. Oh, well, how dare you? How could you do this? Listen, don't put your expectations, faith, hope, and trust in me, and I won't put mine in you. We need to make a really big deal about Jesus because I'm going to disappoint you, and you're just going to disappoint people. I think sometimes that we run a rat race and we get all crazy with the details and stuff. Why is it? Because we're getting lost in the lesser things. What would be the lesser things? That we care more about what other people think about us than we do about Jesus. And as long as we can keep them happy for 3 hours out of the year and we lose our mind, we all win, right? And so you got to make this choice of, all right, I'm not saying just do everything different, you got to prioritize. If you're not careful about not making the most of Jesus, you'll get lost in the lesser things. And when I mean lost, you'll be lost. You'll wake up from the Christmas coma. You ever had the Christmas coma? It's where there's this moment, and for each person, I think it comes at different times. Maybe some seasons are different than others. But the anticipation builds, right? And then it reaches this fever pitch, and then you get to it, and sometimes it's even on Christmas afternoon, and sometimes it's on the 26th, and the coma lasts for a little while, though, because there's just this moment where you wake up and you go, oh, there's no more presents to open, there's no more places to go, I'm tired of leftovers. That wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. How did all this happen? I still kind of feel empty. Now I just got a lot of stuff to clean up. And credit card bills to pay. And dang, did that have anything to do with Jesus? Be careful. I'm just telling you from experience, you will get lost in lesser things if you don't guard from it. You just will. And you're going to wake up and you're going to go, another year. Another flipping year. And then we'll lie to ourselves and be like, New Year's coming. Everybody's like, we're going to tell us all these things that we're going to do. This year, we're going to prioritize Jesus. Look, you're going to get some raw stuff from me in January. I encourage you to stick around. But what if we start choosing that now? Most wonderful time of the year, why don't we make it that? You know, me and my family, I'm not saying do what we do. Heck, we're crazy. We're nuts. But we're just choosing this year. It's like, we're just not going to freak out so much. You know what? Because it doesn't matter. Look, and people are going to get mad and disappointed. You didn't come to this, and you didn't go to this. Look, hey, do you love Jesus? Yeah, I love Jesus. Well, I'll catch you on the flip side, throwing a block party in heaven. You're invited. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll catch up then. I don't even like fruitcake. You know, I'm not coming to your Christmas this year. You know, it's just not happening. So you get mad, you do whatever. I'm just going to stay sane. Matter of fact, if you want to see me, I'll give you my address. You can come on over. Be ready. I ain't getting out of my pajamas, you know. I'm just not. I'm going to be all right. You can come hang out with me if you want. You can keep sending me Christmas cards. Guys, I love your all's Christmas cards. Yeah, Christmas cards is one of the things that creatively we try to outdo last year, don't we? Christmas cards are so much fun, I think. I mean, we don't really do them. Well, we're doing them out in the lobby next week. But Christmas cards, that would panic my wife, too. It's like we have to outdo this stuff. One year, like I remember, we got creative, and my boys were little, and so we like to do a funny card every now and then, or a funny picture. And I remember I had like one boy hanging off my neck and the other in a headlock, and I was hanging the other up by his feet, and everybody thought, oh, that's cute. And it's like, how do you outdo that? Get a giant microwave? I mean, We get nooses. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know how you get creative and outdo, but people will try to outdo that with their Christmas cards. Oh, and it's always crazy. The greatest Christmas cards is whenever somebody new got added to your family this year, especially all you pet lovers. Got a new Sparky this year. Sparky on the Christmas card. And keep sending them to me. I love them. I've got them all over my refrigerator in the shop. And it's just great, but you got to be careful, man, because it doesn't, all areas we can get sucked into it. We can just get sucked into it, and we don't even realize where the time went, and we're tired, we're wore out. And so we just decided this year we're just taking it easy. Look, we're going to try to be intentional about our generosity. We have our Christmas offering coming up next week. We're going to invest into that. As I get a little older, I say a little bit. I start thinking through things just a little bit different. I think it's called wisdom or something like that. I'm just going, you know what? I think I would rather invest into the kingdom of God instead of the kingdom of MasterCard. I think I would rather teach my kids. I think some of us, we have to sit down at some point and reprioritize things with our children. Because I have these moments to where I get incredibly panicked. My kids are spoiled. Look, I love my children. My daughter was in the first experience, so I didn't say any of this, but they're incredibly spoiled children. Could it be that we got distracted by the good things? But we justify it. We're so good at it. It's easy to justify good things in our life. Well, I want my kids to have better and more than I had. As I get to looking back at that, the theory sounds good. It just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy on the inside. I'm just going, I don't know. I turned out all right. So what? I didn't have PlayStation 23. So what? I didn't have the latest, greatest iPhone 14. I'm scared to death. I'm just going to be honest. This is just me working through my issues. I'm scared to death. I'm raising incredibly materialistic children. And we're just getting sucked right into this season. We're sure making a whole lot about a lot of other things and not a whole lot about Jesus. I would rather see my children in heaven. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather them go out and change this world. I don't care if they have an Atari, that's what we should go back to. Asteroids was awesome. And I don't care if they have to go back to playing with a stick and a ball, man. If they love Jesus and they're going to be world changers, I win. It's good. Just make a big deal about Jesus. I don't know. So we're not going to see such and such this Christmas, and that's fine. You just need to draw a line in your own life of what you're going to allow to control you, because here's the final thing is you can choose what controls you. You can choose what controls you. You must choose to prioritize the presence of Christ in your life. You have to choose that. It's a choice. Everything about your life is all about choices. Different time of year. This year exaggerates everything. It magnifies everything. It doesn't exaggerate. It just magnifies it. So if there's tension in your home, there's a lot of tension in your home now, If you lost somebody this year, you really feel it. If there's tension going on, see, you have to make that choice. You have to choose forgiveness. Or you're just going to live with the tension. If there's chaos going on in your house, you have to choose, make a choice. And sometimes your choices are painful. You just have to stop at some point and say, enough. It's kind of like the day I let Jesus catch up because I stopped running. I just chose to stop running. That's why we call it surrendering our life to Christ. I said, I give up. I chose to stop. Some of you just got to choose to stop the rat race. You just got to stop. It's not going, it's a game that you can't win. You just can't. There's always going to be, it's because advertisers know, this world knows something about us, that most of us are wired more as cats than we are dogs. I'll explain. You're like, please. Cats are stupid, and they love shiny things. They'll just, hey, I'm a cat. I like shiny things. Hate water, love shiny things. And like you flash a shiny thing in front of it, man, this cat will go. Cats are so stupid. They like the never-ending energy and just, you give them something to chase and they'll chase it. Dogs, maybe for a little bit, but eventually they're going to fall asleep. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so many of us, though, like, we're like the crazy cats, and the world's got us, man. They've been flashing these things, and, man, we will chase it, and we have boundless energy. I mean, we're tired. We're wore out. We're cranky. But, man, we're just going to keep doing it. It's a race you can't win. There's always going to be something newer. There's always going to be something faster. There's always going to be something shinier. There's always going to be more. You have to make a choice to stop. You have to make that choice. I know it's hard. Oh, will somebody hate you? Maybe what, for 5 seconds? No, you have to choose what controls you. You don't have to be controlled by tension and chaos this year. You have a choice. You don't have to be stressed out. You don't have to be pulled into the fray of Marthas. Some of you just got so many Marthas in your life, you're there more like a support system. You got anybody in your life that just freaks out nonstop? And you're just like, they're kind of fun to hang out with, so I'm just going to freak out with them too. Watch what type of, look, people can freak out. Make one Facebook post and watch the world freak out. Just watch the world freak out. We have got to stop. We've got to get into the presence of Christ. The presence of God is all that matters. It's a peace. It says he's the Prince of Peace, and it's the peace that passes all understanding. Because I can get freaked out all the time, and I had this moment, this first experience today. I come in and look, I was wound tight today, man. Just stuff was bothering me. Stupid things. Certain things in the parking lot was just off, and things in the lobby was just, I was freaking out, and I went into the bathroom. I won't even tell you what happened there. And it's like, and I come in here, and some of the lights, and some of the sounds, and something wasn't just right, and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just freaking out on the inside. I'm like a volcano in human form, I'm just bubbling all the time. And then we got into about the third song of worship, first experience. I go, Heath, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm getting distracted by the lesser things. I have this opportunity to be with an incredible church family and be in the presence and to worship a God that loved me so much, he came after me. I remember I lifted my hands, God, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I find myself saying that all the time. Just forgive me. I'm an idiot. Lord, I just need to be in your presence. And it's just the presence. This is why we sing in worship, because look, we've got it. You've got to prioritize Jesus in your life. This is why you got to have disciplines in your life, and worship. Worship is warfare. You know what I'm saying? And reading the Word of God, it's warfare. And you got to set up all these things, because you know what? Sometimes it's not that you don't love Jesus. It's just you've been distracted by lesser things, and you're getting lost in them. So you got to set these things up in your life that'll bring you back to center. And so I just raised my hand, and look, the day's been great. Because 5 seconds in the presence of God was better than, it just calms your soul. And some of you just need to make that choice to get your soul calmed. Some of you need to make the choice today that I'm giving up. I got to stop. Got to stop this rat race of life, the one that's going on for my soul. Because at the end of the day, nothing's going to matter. See, one of these days, you're going to get into the presence of God, and you're going to realize that that's all that mattered. It'll be the day whenever your knees will bow and your tongues confess. And in that moment, even regardless of how you lived your life, in that moment, I feel like we're all going to know such peace. For some, it'll be very short-lived, though. Because we just didn't make that choice here. There's one day where you will worship him. You won't have a choice. But I was just remember thinking, God, thank you for the honor. God, for the honor. Out of everybody, you chose me. Can we all say that to him? Out of everybody, God, you just chose me. Thank you for the honor. I'm going to spend the rest of my life worshiping you. Let me pray for you real quick. Bow your heads.